As the sun begins to set on yet another episode here in Bucko Man's World, it has been a crazy recording session. This video should have been out 3 days ago. I have had all kind of issues. I've had mic issues. Puppy, I think, knocked out half of my video because I didn't realize that my mic wasn't connected. I've had vacuums come through as I'm trying to record. I've had planes fly overhead. Anything that could possibly happen has happened during this video. But because we are who we are, and because we are Bucko Man, we battled through it. We went crazy. We did everything that we could possibly do. So now I'm going to sit back with my favorite beverage. Actually, I'm going to sit back with 6 of my favorite beverages. And I'm going to rewatch this video myself. And I'm going to enjoy the laughs. I'm going to enjoy the screw ups because no matter what, it still was fun producing. So let's get this baby on. Let's get our gear going. Let's jump off the cliff. Let's not die. Let's just fly on to our next adventure. Okay, peeps, and welcome back to this episode. And first of all, the first thing that I had to do to start with the factory was decide where I was going to place it. So I had 3 options that I came up with. The first option is actually behind my right shoulder, sort of just above the blacksmith there in that open field area. I thought about placing it there because of the water that comes through, the river line that comes through which would be technically to the west side of it, the east side, be the east side of the island. I thought about putting it there because it was nice and flat, but after I thought about it a little bit with all the trees all the way around it, I didn't think it was going to blend in very well. So I figured that probably wouldn't be a very good idea there. So my second choice was over here on top of this mountain range. So I figured we might be able to like sort of scale back on this mountain, maybe cut about 5 layers back off of it, and we could place it right in this area here. Again, we'd have the water line below it, but what I really liked was the fact that this looked like a nice little bay area, I guess you could call it. Again, we'd probably have to scale back considerably here, but we could put like docking ports in here. Maybe set up little houses along the line, like a market style place over on top of here. Then when I started to think about it a little more, I thought about maybe by the village. And let me show you why. Okay, peeps, so here is an on-top view of where the village is, which is right here. Obviously, if we take this river going all the way down and around, you'll get back to the house, which is over here. So this is the area that I want to place the factory. So one of the reasons why I like this area is A, because of the river stream, and I'm very close to the ocean. And I think that that would be a great spot for it. So I was debating on where to put it, and I came up with the idea of over here. So I'm going to be putting the factory here. And then I figured if I'm going to do that, we got to change this up. So I figured if we do some landscaping, we can change the river like so. Have the river flow behind it. Like in here-ish. Bring it all the way up to there. Open it up. So technically, this will all open up and be river. So I'm thinking by doing that, logically you could have boats come through here and deliver whatever they need to deliver to the factory. So then I'm thinking you have some like ports in here. Let's change that. Ports in here, port here, and so forth like that. There is a little bit of landscaping issue, as you can tell here. This is pretty high, so this would have to be scaled back. down and kind of flattened out. Then on this side of the island also, I was thinking about the village and kind of changing it more into a marketplace. So I'm thinking using like vibrant colors and just revamping the entire village. We could like change up the design of the blacksmith, maybe delete the church, add like an extending these houses together, more of a farming area, like a outdoor fruit market or something like that. So that's what I was planning on doing with the village. So also I was thinking of like just kind of building up the water line. So we could go back to this and maybe change the landscaping of the water to this, get rid of all these trees. And then we could kind of build maybe some kind of a port here, maybe a little bit of a beach type area, something over here, maybe a couple of houses or something along in here and so forth. But yeah, that would probably be this side of the island. Then I'm thinking of putting together a bridge, some kind of a bridge to get to this other section of the area and on the other side of the island. And what I'm thinking of is putting like a pathway going across here like so. So like a waterfront pathway going all the way around. And in the process, we could build like Norwegian style houses, like Caribbean style, those colorful houses that they like to put like up against each other and like in here-ish. Build up the port a little bit, maybe get rid of these islands and all this fun stuff and build some kind of a port system in here. So let's change that to that and to that. So we can have like a port system somehow going into this aisle here. And then I'm thinking in the middle, building some kind of a big structure, like a city hall style, like a palace type thing. Something in here. And then putting together maybe like a courtyard in here. So when you're crossing over into this area here, oops, let's change the color. When you're crossing over to this area here, you're seeing like this beautiful flower work, courtyard style leading to this building over here. I also want to build a tree farm, kind of like a monstrous greenhouse. This thing is going to be massive. I don't know exactly where it would fit over here. Maybe we can knock out some of these trees in this back area down in here. Knock out all this stuff in here and maybe build it back that way. But yeah, so that is pretty much my plans moving forward, and pretty much all of this is going to be moving into 1.14.1. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I plan on doing. So now, as we continue on to the video, this next portion does not have any audio because I think Puppy went behind my computer and knocked my mic system out. So what I'm going to do is kind of voice over the next section. So let's go on and move to that section now.
So as I begin building the smelting part of the factory, in essence, there's going to be 16 furnaces on one side, 16 furnaces on the opposite side. So there's going to be a grand total of 32 furnaces inside this factory. So here at the beginning, I just set up the rails, 17 power rails with a couple of regular rails leading into a station. And then there I just went on and put the furnaces. And then we had to put the hoppers down. And the way that the carts are going to be loading into the furnace, I need one set of carts loading whatever I needed to be smelted, and another set of hoppers loading in the fuel. So on the back side, what I'm doing currently is the fuel part. The top is going to be the actual smelting, whatever needs to be smelted. So then I put a quick little lever down to make sure that the power rails would light up. We went underneath, snuck it there, and now the power rails are pretty much lit up. So they'll constantly be on. So then I had to set up the loading station, and that's what I'm doing now. And the tracks. So we went on and put the tracks down as we ran them like that on both tops of both of the hoppers. So again, the rails or the mine carts will run across the rails and either be dropping off fuel or dropping off whatever needs to be picked, whatever needs to be smelted. So now I'm going to finish off right now the loading station. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling here with the format. This is a loading station that I do all the time. Most of the time I have it by memory, but I have like a notepad too that keeps me, gives me like a cheat sheet so that I know how the setup is. And that block there is pretty much making sure all the rails on the top are lit up. The bottom rail that's running across the bottom is actually going to be a third cart, and that's going to be picking up all the items that is being smelted. So yeah, it's pretty much done right about now. We just got to add the carts and the tracks to the carts for the loading, and then eventually there's going to be a lever there that's going to operate it and turn it on and off. So as I bounce around here, there's the lever, and as you can see, it's going to turn on and off. That'll keep the carts from running constantly. And now there's the hoppers going in. So now the carts are going to go underneath the hoppers and do whatever they have to do. The first one's going to be connected with a chest. So all I got to do is just fill the chest directly. And then the second one is technically going to be inside a minecart. And then we'll just load it from there. As we get the minecart, there she goes. And technically that box, the chest is on the top of the higher one, doesn't need to be there. Eventually I will take it out because it just gets to be too high. And now we're going to work on the back part where the unloading of the processed ore or whatever I'm processing is going to be. So once it's smelted, it's going to end up in that box that I just built right there. So we're just building kind of a station there. Again, a quick little redstone thing. And all it's going to do is the cart's going to go up onto the hopper. And if it's filled, it's going to stop and drop everything. And once it's not filled, it's just going to go. So in essence, it's a continuously running system. But I will put a lever there to kind of stop that too. And this is the finished product. So this is one side done. So all I did was just quickly flip it onto the other side. So both sides are now completed. So in essence, it is working. I'm going to test it here by throwing some coal into the fuel line. And then we're going to grab some iron. And we're going to throw that iron. Or no, sand, excuse me. I got ahead of the game. Yeah, so we're going to end up throwing the sand inside there. And this is where we're going to get our glass. So we're going to go on, flip it, and boom, there she goes. And that side light up, and that side lit up. So it actually worked out perfectly. And it's pretty even, as you can see. 3 over there, 3 over there, 3 over there. So it's relatively even. It's not going to be perfectly even, but it will be good enough. And so yeah, and this is the completed inside version. So once I put some stairs down, and now real quickly we're jumping to the cactus part of it. So in essence, the other part is done. So now we're going to jump to the cactus part where we're going to make the cactus farm exactly on top of the factory. And it's pretty simple. It's 11 by 11 block, and then inside the block is a set of 16 pieces of sand. And then we're going to end up putting a water stream in the corners. Oh, but first we're going to put the glass. And what this does is that if you put it high enough where you have one cactus sitting there, when the cactus grows its second bud, I guess you could call it, it'll actually be trimmed off by the glass or whatever block's on top of it. So in essence, it will get clipped, fall into what will be the water stream that will be coming up, and then it's going to go into the hole, and then it's going to run the entire length of the factory towards the back end where the unloading section of the sand and glass will be. So now we're putting down glass panes, as you can see right there. And we're gonna probably do this for both of these ones. I think this is actually the first level that I worked on. The second level I actually used just regular glass blocks. I figured that I didn't have to waste the materials to make the pane, and even though 16 pane comes out to what, 6 pieces of glass, I needed 18 total, so it was actually cheaper to use the blocks. So I left a little bit of a gap where I could run out, and there goes the cactus. And now here's the bottom where the water stream's going to go, run across the top of the factory, and eventually there's going to be a roof there, because what's going to happen is with all that water that's on the top, it's going to drip. So we're going to put an extra roof down to make sure that the water doesn't drip down into the bottom floor there of the factory. So in essence, it's just going to run all the way across the entire length of the factory. And it worked out perfect because it fell right in the middle. And then the water's going to drop down. So eventually we're going to create a channel here as we move across. And I did use nether brick because of the fact that this is not going to be seen, and since we have a million we have a million stacks of nether, or we're going to soon have a million stacks of nether, might as well use it and use it up in a place where nobody's going to see it anyways. So that's why I went with the nether brick here. And again, this is what it's going to look like when it's completed. That's one level completed. And you can just stack right on top of each other. And that's what I ended up doing. I put another stack directly on tops, and that'll wrap that part up.
As we rise above the mountains to the west, we can see the foundation of the factory complete. It is currently 2 stories high as far as a cactus farm goes, and it is 32 wide as far as a factory goes. This has been an absolutely crazy video, my friends. It's took me a long time to get to this level right here, so we might as well end this video with 2 flowers in our hands, because you just know there's going to be an anvil falling on my head. Till next time, peeps. Bye bye, baby.